Black Lives Matter. She's a Super Geek is a proud member of the Misdirected Mark Network. Episode 145 is brought to you by our patrons: Laura Bolin, Brian Kurtz, Jennifer Kathleen, Christopher Tate, Danielle Thomas, Jen Pixelscapes, James Fellows, Ryan Bolter, Transfer Productions, and Carl Rigney. Thank you all so much. And remember, if you're going to give to SassGeek either in this month of November or next month, December, we are paying that money forward to Mariam Ahmad and their new gender-inclusive project.
She's a rock and roll play baby, and she throws a natural 20 crazy. She's a rock and roll play baby, and she's nothing near the normal and maybe.
You're listening to episode 145 of She's a Super Geek, the actual play RPG podcast highlighting women as GMs. Hello all, I'm Andi, and on our episode today, my co-host Senda and I are joined by Mariam Ahmad and Ash Kreider to play through Ash's new game, Our Traveling Home, due on Kickstarter early next year. Our Traveling Home is a game about queer romance, found family, and finding healing through belonging. Last episode, we met and developed our characters a little bit, and now we get into the meat of this game, which is mini-games. It's super fun, and I hope you enjoy our first two mini-games.
Okay, so the last thing that needs to be explained before we start playing is that thing on your character sheets we haven't talked about yet, which is marks. So everybody has marks on their sheet that are basically, think of them as like, you know, hitting your marks in a movie or a play or something like that. These are moments that you should try to make happen during your scene, you know, and feel free to interpret these extremely liberally and don't stress out if you don't manage to hit every single one of them. However, for each act, everyone has one starred mark that you do have to hit in that act. So if you haven't hit it by the end of the act, there's, you know, between act 1 and act 2, there's a mid-act climax. So you have to make sure that you hit it then. This is something where it's less of a thing in a one shot as we're playing, but if you're playing a full campaign, the number of marks you hit directly impacts how happy your ending is.
Ooh,
so
cool.
Yeah, hitting marks is important. Whenever you hit a mark in a scene, at the end of the scene, you kind of say, well, I hit this mark in the scene, and briefly give like a 1-sentence explanation of what you learned as a result of that scene, and that lesson goes on your character sheet. And there are some games that will kind of reference how many lessons have you learned. You know, if you've learned more lessons, you know, by hitting more marks, then you can, you know, get bonuses to your roll or other things like that. But yeah, basically that is marks. So just kind of take a second to look at what your marks are and then aim to fulfill them as we're doing things in play. So looking at our Act 1 games, we definitely want to hit Budding Romance and Chore Day. Our other options are Stupid Argument, Goofing Off, Home Improvement, Magical Adventure, Midnight Confession, Special Family Meal, or Trip to the Market. I would like to do Budding Romance either second or third. Is there anything that jumps out at anyone? Do we want to start with Chore Day?
I would be cool with starting with Chore Day. I'm also tempted to say a Stupid Argument just because it's a fun way to like jump into character stuff really fast to get into an argument.
We don't have to do it.
That's fair.
We have some tension.
We don't have to do it or anything of that sort, but because I'm such a food person, the minute there was like a special family meal, I was like, me, the player, really wants to do that. But
oh, sure.
Yeah, so I read that and I was like, Together Breakfast from Steven Universe.
Yeah.
Cool. So actually, let's swap out for special family meal for Chore Day, because they both have similarities in terms of there are tasks that you have to do before you do the cool thing. So maybe let's start with a Stupid Argument and then either do and then go into Special Family Meal and then Budding Romance. Sure. So a Stupid Argument. So the home used to be quite spacious, but there's more of you now, and sometimes the aggravation of feeling closely packed in means tempers can get a bit heated. What happens and how do you handle the situation? So this game is for anybody who wishes to play. The first thing we need to do is decide who will play which roles in the scene. So two of us are going to be the arguers, and there has to be at least one de-escalator, but the other, it can be the other two of us as well. So everyone can play this one. But the first thing is who wants to be having the argument?
I would like to fight. So I feel like this is that Monty Python sketch. Like, I would like to have an argument.
Yes. I think it would make sense for us to argue.
You're like, who wants to fight?
This is just an argument.
That one. All right, Andy's gonna fight me.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
think I can fight you.
Vixel versus Shard. I feel like there's some tension there already. So,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Great. Aaron is definitely going to be a de-escalator.
I feel like
What about
it
a
makes.
monster?
I
Do you have
feel
any
like
stakes in this?
it would be good for me to also be an arguer, but I feel like I could be also a de-escalator because it really depends on the context.
you could also sit there and watch us and laugh. Whatever
yeah,
you're
not about that
feeling.
though.
I mean-
just about
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm kind of the
So-
occasionally kind of throwing popcorn.
Oh my god, yes. So I am actually de-escalating.
Adding
and
fuel
you
to the fire.
are,
big
like,
de-escalating.
de-escalating.
With giant bunny ears.
Air quotes. I'm de-escalating.
Giant air quotes. Awesome. Okay. So, arguers, what is the disagreement that starts the argument? Why does it get heated? And why do you know that you're correct? And remember, this is specifically a stupid
Right, it can't
argument.
be an actual real argument, which we have. This one is a stupid
Right.
one. Is this about one of the bathtubs?
I was thinking it was about one of the one of the bubbles. Sorry, I forgot what we named
yeah,
it. 'Cause
like the
gerbil
glass
ball is-
bubbles.
You put flowers in that.
Yeah, I did.
You filled it up with normal water and put flowers in
I
one.
did, yes. Why?
That's my home.
No, you have many homes and many bathtubs, and you have many of these glass balls all over the place. This one was in a perfect place.
No, I only have one glass ball per level.
Okay. Save
Okay.
Save
We're not
that
there
energy.
Sorry, I'm trying to have an
We're not
angelic
there yet.
voice, and I'm like, what the hell do angels sound like?
Well, that's the beauty of narration. You can say that you have an angelic voice. And a question for the de-escalators. What were we doing when the fight started, and why did...
I was smelling said bouquet.
I think I was...
I just have my nose, like, I almost look like I'm about to drown in it, sort of a thing. Just face right in it. I just happened to just be there. That's why I got involved.
And I think Aaron is in the next room. They kind of take a second to catch on that there's like an argument that needs like intervening in, because they're trying to make themselves a sandwich, but butter knives are tricky.
Oh,
So like it takes, it's like when you hear that parent vibe of like when you hear something, but it takes a couple seconds to register of like, oh, I need to be
Yeah.
there right now.
Yeah. Yep.
So we're gonna go into the argument. So if you kind of got started when I
That's okay.
interrupted you.
I'm sure we can pick it up from there. All right. Well, so these flowers were given to me by the forest. I was out in the forest. They popped out. They're beautiful. They smell very obviously Lament is enjoying
So
them.
pretty.
Okay.
you realize I can't go up and down the stairs, and my balls, they will break. They are made of glass. That's why I have one on each
Yeah,
different
but you're fine.
level.
Look at you. You're
I think
fine
I'm
right
inside the ball right now.
Am I accidentally snorting you?
No, you're just smelling the flowers. Do you know how uncomfortable it is? You are basically poking sticks through my body.
You're fine. Look at you. You're fine.
You do realize I'm not normal water. Like, I don't know if I can nurture flowers, and I don't like this. I can't move.
Well,
I mean, like, I'm not going to be able to move without spilling all these flowers everywhere.
Well, let me put it to you this way. You look very nice. You look very nice right now. I think it's probably worth it. This is a good look for you. You smell
If
nice.
anybody knows what looks nice, it's definitely you, Shard, because all you care about is appearances.
Oh,
Whoa. Okay. Yeah. So that's the point where Aaron walks in and
That's the point where we get mean.
okay. So I think Aaron like awkwardly walks over and like very carefully, like, picks up the ball and, like, sets the ball on, like, a table that has, like, an empty vase on it. And they're like, oh, okay, maybe they're very much, like, trying to be like, oh, okay, let's maybe
At this
fix
point,
so
I
no
get
one
up and
unhappy.
shuffle off in a particular direction as if I've left. But I'm coming back.
Okay. See, Aaron agrees with me.
Aaron does not agree with you. They're just moving you onto the table. Aaron agrees with me that you look lovely like this.
It doesn't matter if I look lovely. I'm contained and can't move. How would you like it if I strapped you down somewhere and...
They're just flowers. You're not contained by flowers.
I can't move without spilling, and you put more water on me. Do you know how awkward that is?
I mean,
Okay. So
It's like you're saying I'm not good enough.
At this point, I return with shards, I guess, like mortar and pestle or something that's super important for crafting and doing wizardly things. And I place it there,
Yep.
dump the water in, and put the new flowers in it.
Yes,
It's-
this works.
it's to be clear, when you say mortar and pestle, instead of being like granite or something, it matches the really kitschy, like hand-painted plates in that it looks like it's porcelain and hand-painted.
But it's not glazed, so if you actually put like water or like... Yeah.
It's porous is the thing.
No.
Because porcelain can't... Yeah, you're not supposed to put water in stuff in porous things.
And it's the
Yeah.
water's actually
Yep.
starting to change color now, just a little.
No. What are you doing? Whoa,
Yeah,
no.
see?
I'm going to pour the water back into the
See,
I've got faint.
and Aaron,
Oh, God. What is that, mugwort? What have you
Maybe.
been doing, Shard?
spells.
Blech.
What do you expect me to do?
Oh, God. And I taste chamomile
Mm-hmm.
and liquid nitrogen?
Maybe. Definitely peppermint, though.
okay, you know what? You and Aaron, like, is getting a little tired of this. Aaron is like, you are not helping. Go get me a vase.
Sorry, who was that to? Lament?
Yeah, sorry, Lament.
And then with your consent, I start touching your face, trying to pull it off. You said
My
face,
face or-
right?
Aaron's face. Oh, vase.
Vase.
A vase. A vase. Get me a vase.
And then I go and bring something from the spice jar, and it's like,
Have you been making fireworks? Oh, it's mace.
And so I think Aaron gives up on Lament and turns to Shard and is like, Shard,
It's flower. It's just flowers. It's just flowers.
does Vixel want to have flowers in their
I
ball?
don't understand why they wouldn't.
Does Vixel want to have flowers in their ball, Shard? Shard? Yes or no?
They seem to be objecting to it.
Great. Do you
Oh,
have
well, the
any
all-powerful
number
wizard
of-
can finally use, basic perception check.
and like Aaron gives you a look of like, I am trying to deal with this.
Ugh.
And then they turn back to Shard and they're like, do you not have any number of very lovely, non-magically important containers that flowers could be put in?
I mean, yes, absolutely I do. It's just that this one is better. Aaron is giving me such a look.
The listeners cannot see, like, but I am absolutely using my disappointed.
I'm getting that face really hard.
So I think Vixel is going to sort of wobble in a way that will spill the water, the extra water and the flowers onto the floor, and then kind of snap the opening shut and roll and like they're on a table, so this is a little bit of a a thing. They're gonna roll off and try to roll away. They're just
I'm gonna.
I'm not talking about this anymore.
Stop you from rolling away, and then I'm gonna pick up the ball, and I'm gonna look at you. Look, Okay, if you don't want if you really don't want flowers in you.
Stabby.
Okay.
Like through the body. Ouch. How would you like it if I stabbed a rose through you?
I mean, okay.
At this point, I point at the ball and I say, "Vase."
No, not vase. Ugh.
Aaron points at it and just sounds tired and says, home, not vase.
I apologize, Vixel.
Mhm.
I apologize
Mhm.
for attempting to make you pretty. That was my bad.
Are you saying I'm not pretty?
I mean,
So I want to do something flashy. Not that this is on my sheet or anything, but I need to use my power in a flashy way to impress the cursed. I think what's going to impress Aaron right now is I'm unhappy. So I will open the little door or whatever latch or whatever it is. I'm going to spill myself out onto the floor and I'm just going to make myself into an ice sculpture. And I think it's an ice sculpture of a lute and just be like, am I pretty now?
I 100% love that energy. I think you might be
I
looking
was like, that's on my sheet.
that's one of the wizard
Oh, dang
marks.
it.
Yeah, sorry.
Hold on. I was wondering why I
however-
was trying to impress you.
I 100% love that energy. I would love it if you still did that. No matter what. I think Aaron is just like,
I mean, sure, yeah, it doesn't make any of my marks, but yeah, that's fine.
okay. I mean, if there's something maybe else that you want to change to.
I mean, I still want to do that because it's flashy and cool. But as I do it, I think I'm going to be complained about being taken advantage of, which is the mark I have to make it. And this feels like a good one. And just like, well, if I'm not being appreciated here, then obviously you don't need me. What you need is a piece of artwork. And I just spill out of the ball and become an ice sculpture of a lute.
It's not my fault that you are feeling unappreciated or not pretty. Like, that's on you.
Oh, this is so
Can
toxic.
I, with your consent,
Okay,
start playing you?
Okay.
I don't know if I'm playable. I'm ice. You can try.
I start trying to play, play the strings.
I am trying to deflect
Yeah, they don't actually
responsibility
move.
for a situation that I created, just to be clear.
Very good.
Okay. I think everyone just needs to take a deep breath and step back. Vixel, no one was saying anything about your appearance.
Pretty loot.
Were they?
Thank you, Lament.
No one important was saying anything about your appearance.
Oh, snap. Burn.
Shard, you have promised that you will no longer attempt to decorate Vixel.
Yes. I will no
Okay.
longer attempt to decorate Vixel. Vixel looks
Okay,
lovely
and
now.
No, we're not gonna comment on Vixel's appearance because Vixel has made it clear that that's unwelcome.
Pretty loot.
Thank you, Lament.
Doesn't
Great.
work.
Aaron looks at the flowers on the floor, and it takes them, one or two tries to pick them up,
Oh.
and they're kind of holding them, and they're like, Shard, please get me a vase, because they have a moment where they look at Lament trying to play Vixel the lute, and it's just like no.
And also kind of smiling at your attempts at picking up.
I'm a lute. This is what a lute
No,
sounds
it's more tinkly.
like.
Tinkle, tinkle.
A tinkle, tinkle, lute, angelic
So-
singing.
I turn around,
Wow.
open a cabinet which contains a myriad of different gorgeously hand-blown glass vases.
No, you
Right.
wizard.
I mean, I don't usually use them for flowers. They're usually used for other things. But I pick one out that matches the flower colors a little bit, and I put it on the table in front of our Aaron.
Ouch.
Flowers in the vase. and is like, great. Now the forest will be happy that we are displaying their flowers, and no one is being
Stabbed.
inconvenienced. I like that we came out with inconvenienced and stabbed at the same time.
Okay, Lament, could you stop playing? Thanks. I'm gonna turn back into water now. Could you put the bowl down, please, Shard?
Yeah, I'll set it on the floor.
Yeah, so I'll turn back into water and get slurped up into the ball.
Yep.
I'm just gonna
That's what happens.
pat the ball and
Like a cat, can I just bat it off the
Amazing.
table?
float off.
Ah! Thunk, 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 roll, roll, roll.
And I think that's where the scene ends.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like any damage was done to the home that needs to be repaired
A little water damage to the
I
floor.
don't think so.
for our arguers. And Lament, feel free to include yourself in this or not, since you are very much not helping. How are you more considerate of each other's feelings in the future?
I don't think that I necessarily always think about the fact that Vizal does think about what they look like. And so, like, I am going to butt out of messing with that.
Okay, cool.
And maybe not just
Um,
randomly put things in them. You would think I would know that by now, but, you know.
I feel like you've learned this lesson multiple times.
Well, I've learned it again for now. I'm sure that I'll remember it for at least a year.
Yes. I have learned that I should go get Aaron when Shard won't listen to me.
Yeah. That's the thing that's different. That is the thing that's different about this argument this time.
Because we've had
we
this type of
listened
argument.
to Aaron.
Yeah. I mean, they tried to use me to brew coffee once.
I mean, that was an
probably an
actual accident. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. They were like, yeah, just heat up and jump into my hot water bottle. I have a headache. And I just am like, you know,
Yeah.
I'm a demon. And I just want to be respected as a demon. This is like a confessional video afterwards.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
All right. Did anyone hit any marks in the scene?
Yes, I
I
did.
did.
I tried to deflect responsibility for a situation that I created by stabbing you with
You
flowers.
absolutely did that. You absolutely did that.
Sorry for that really toxic argument.
You won't remember it tomorrow.
I did
won't.
something I know will annoy the family because it brings me pleasure, and it's this basically acting kind of not there, even though I'm starting to be all there. I still like pretending that I'm not all there. Because I know they'll let me get away with it because they think I'm
Right.
not all there.
Real quick, Senda, what did you learn from that scene?
Oh, what did I learn from
Since
that?
hitting a mark always.
Interesting. I wish that I could say this wizard had learned to be more respectful of others, but I suspect that what they actually learned was something more like Aaron doesn't like conflict. And if I want them to like me, I shouldn't get into conflict.
You know,
Well,
I'll take it.
you know, it's a start.
Yeah, I
We can work with it.
mean, Shard's got some emotional learning to do. Maybe they
I feel like after
lived alone
you
for
know,
a really
yes.
long time with just the demon, and like
Yeah.
being around other people is maybe something that is like kind of recent.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so like there's some emotional intelligence that is not high here.
I feel like back in wizard school, you had really good emotional intelligence, and it's just kind of faded over the decades.
Well, I mean, maybe I didn't because like look at this love triangle situation.
Oh, that's fair.
I'm not sure.
No, I don't. No,
I think you were charismatic. I'm mistaking those
Sure.
two things.
Oh,
Sorry.
very charismatic. That's very different.
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, charismatic and pretty people are able to get
Oh
away
my
with
god!
a lot.
Right?
I think that I've relied on that for a long time.
So Lament, you were annoying people because it gave you pleasure. What did you learn from hitting that mark?
I don't know if it's the good lesson to learn, but if people pity you, they will let you get away with a lot more.
Oh man.
Oh, I just realized what mine should actually be. I'm sorry. It should be Aaron doesn't like conflict. I can't use my charisma to get away with it with them.
Ooh.
That's better.
Yeah,
I like that.
That's better.
They will call you.
Uh-huh.
Yep. They absolutely will. Andy, did you hit any marks?
I did. I complained about being taken advantage of.
You sure did.
Yep. I think Vixel isn't the most, like, emotionally aware either, but then again, Vixel is not, was never a human. Vixel is, in fact, a demon. But they're like, wow, I can, like, turn into ice and just, like, stop talking to Shard. And Aaron will defend me against Shard.
We learned bad things.
Yeah.
Well,
And
He learned to.
Shard just doesn't ever learn.
I learned.
maybe you know, it's not so much bad because that can also be framed as you learned that Aaron will support you when you exert a boundary.
I think
Yes,
that's a
the
good
better,
thing to
yeah.
learn. Yeah.
That's the,
Yeah.
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 I really appreciate that, Aaron. And I think at some point I will thank you for that.
This is a bit of a stretch, but I think it still applies. I think I absolutely kept everyone from panicking in a crisis.
I think you did.
Oh, it was about to go down.
Yep.
Do you know how many days the wizard has spent underwater as a punishment for my wrath?
So I absolutely kept everyone from panicking in a crisis. I think the thing that I learned is the wizard is mostly well-intentioned, but I think what I learned is that the wizard doesn't fully think of Vixel as people.
I think, yeah.
That's
So-
yeah, probably an unfortunate truth right there. Yep.
Yep. So the wizard doesn't cause Aaron is like, oh, they never would have done something like that to me. So, there's a difference there.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a stupid argument.
That was great.
I enjoyed that.
It was stupid.
It was stupid, and I loved it.
Awesome. So do we want to move on to special family meal?
Sure, and then save budding romance for last.
Yeah.
So I feel like maybe special family meal is like the next day when Aaron is like, tensions are still like they're lower, but still like a little high. And Aaron is like, hey, it would be nice.
Uh-huh.
So for whatever reason, it doesn't happen very often that everyone gets to sit down for a nice family meal. Whose idea was it, and how does everyone contribute? So I'm perfectly happy for it to be my idea. So this game is for everybody. So we're going to just kind of briefly describe, how this comes, how we decided to make this happen. Does Aaron suggest this over breakfast, or how does that happen?
I think Aaron has to gather us up from different places.
Oh.
I also feel like there might have been a conversation as sort of like reminiscing the old days, and I described this one particular like really cool meal that now probably doesn't even exist
Oh, it was a
anymore. Like
festival.
this one place. Yeah, it was like a festival or some sort of a meal, like the good old days in college.
Yeah.
And I described how, there was this amazing meal that was there from this one shop, and this is how it was. I'm trying to think what sort of a meal it would be. Like, I don't know why turducken shows up in my head, but I really don't want it to be a turducken.
Maybe it involved some kind of like crazy bread sculpture.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's some
Like a rainbow where each thing was flavored by a different thing that also was a color.
And so it's like
Yeah.
maybe a spring festival,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
being...
And maybe it was like in a shape of like a unicorn or something with the hair and the body and everything.
Okay, this isn't like, going for a Netflix show right here. Oh my god. This is going to be an episode of Nailed It.
We're going to nail it.
Magic is
Yes.
an option. Yeah, you're telling the story, and I think, it's like, why don't we do that? Why don't we make a big, stupid, fancy meal? Like, that's a thing we can do.
Yeah. With magic. Oh, wait.
Oh.
Oh boy. Yeah, we can absolutely, don't worry. I'll take care of the unicorn shaping part. It's easy. It's so easy. So
Okay.
very easy with a little magic.
Meal prep. So the next thing we do is we describe how each of us contributes to preparing the meal. Each of us chooses a role, and when everybody has selected a role, we'll answer the associated questions in the following order. So the roles are gather ingredients, dishes, clearing the table, food prep, and cooking.
Can I just say I think dishes is going to be mine? I
I
feel
would-
like I'm the most limited.
I would really like you to do dishes because I think it's going to be a really brilliant moment to just visualize. I was hoping that you would say that.
I'm not sure, what, I mean, I'm sure we could stretch and flex, but
I feel like food prep might be mine because I was the one who suggested this in the first place.
I think I might gather ingredients.
I guess that's going to leave me to do the cooking.
Or I'm
oh
also
dear, that's going to be so hard.
I'm happy
we
to
can
cook.
we can
Also, like, I'm happy to switch that around.
No. I think we can make it work. I mean, I think Aaron is mostly like directing Lament to like, okay, now that you've done this, do this, and stir that, and
It'll be fun, amusingly difficult for us.
awesome. Shard, if you're gathering ingredients, you gather fresh ingredients either from your garden or the wilds. What do you bring back, and what special handling does it require?
So I am actually gathering ingredients from the wild. Part of the reason that this particular dish is not made anymore is because it requires a bunch of things from the wild, and people don't go into the wild very much these days. It's kind of dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. So I'm collecting basically a rainbow of ingredients. Fruit that is red, that has to be picked in the 3 minutes following the hour of 10 o'clock in the morning. There's yellow flowers, which I can just pick, but the moment that I pick them, like, they have to stay. Maybe actually the moment you pick them, they immediately regrow, but they regrow even bigger. So you can only pick each one like once, because otherwise you'll end up with these flowers that like basically like will stalk over you and bad things happen.
That's cool.
So those, and then and you'll have to be kind of careful with them as you chop them, because some of that, sticks with them. But so anyway, so I've got some of these yellow flowers, and then the yellow and the orange will mix. So we got that. That's fine. Green, I have to collect some herbs they come on these, off these vines that are just covered in like spiky, sharp spines, and they're actually reactive to motion. So I basically have to go invisible to pick the leaves from these vines so that they can't see me coming. Then the blue is actually another set of berries, and these.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yes.
About? I would love for something that you bring back be like very sensitive to like tone of voice, and you only have like you have to speak gently to them.
Yes.
Yeah, if there's anything harsh around, they like close up or something.
Well, I think that
Or that like turn really sour.
I think
or...
the berries are like, they're blue, and if there's a harsh word around them, then they not only turn sour, but they also change colors. So they turn like something really unappetizing, like a sickly green or something along those lines. So like you have to,
Or gray.
yeah,
It's no
like
longer
gray. It's not blue anymore. So if you don't treat them well, like then the unicorn rainbow won't be a rainbow. Because they won't be blue anymore. And they'll also taste really terrible.
That's awesome.
Yep. So I'm coming back with a basket of all of this.
Awesome. All right, dishes. So Vixel, there's a huge stack to get washed if everyone's gonna have something to eat on.
So I think we rotate chores. I think this was set up by Aaron. Because
Chores? I don't do chores. Ah, damn.
so it
Turn to do chores.
so no, it was your turn to do the dishes.
And
And
so
so
ingredients.
right, but we rotate them like every week or month or something. So you haven't done the dishes
Oh.
the entire time.
You're right, I haven't.
Because you're used to living by yourself,
Yep.
and you only have to do dishes like once a decade. You just have enough. Like,
There's so many.
yeah, and sometimes you might stumble upon somebody who wants a favor, and you're like, yeah, clean my kitchen. You just find ways around doing stuff like that yourself. So I'm in my ball, and I am just looking at like the largest stack of dishes. It is so many times my height in this bubble. I am mad because I know that Shard left this for me on purpose.
I mean, it wasn't on purpose.
So I would like to grudgingly use my powers. And what magic is supposed to help that actually makes it harder? Ooh.
Maybe there's some Rhyme has or Shard has enchanted the scrub brush to make it easier for them to scrub the dishes, but like makes it harder for you to like.
So I don't need a scrub. I can be as prickly as a scrub brush if I want.
Does the scrub brush get jealous?
So yeah, so as I kind of take myself out of the, I plug up the sink with my magic, and then I start trying to wash these dishes, and I can turn myself hot to like scald off anything that's caked on, although I swear to God I taste more gunpowder. I'm like, Shard is definitely making fireworks, and that is not a good sign. And the scrub brush is just constantly trying to use me to scrub. And I'm just like, I'm not water. Like, I can't, like, I am water, but, like, you can't use me like that. And, like,
Oh, poor scrub brush. It's just like, I want help. I want help.
Yes.
I want help.
Oh my God, it's a golden retriever.
Yeah, I'm like, the scrub brush is basically a dog. It doesn't understand that it's not helping.
Right.
It just wants to be there for you.
I think a couple things get broken and whatnot, but eventually, and I'm not happy about using my powers because it is very, this thing is very, like, I'm not just manipulating myself, like, that part is fairly easy, like, I have to manipulate to, like, hold dishes in place and stuff like that, so it's, I'm grudgingly using my power because I know it will make the family happy.
Yay.
Not that that's a mark. Well, but Ash asked me, I'm sorry, Aaron asked me.
Well, yeah, there we go. All right, food prep. Lament, you're helping with chopping and other food preparation. Did the person who gathered ingredients remember to warn you about the special handling?
There's two things.
If not, what happens?
There's the flowers and the berries.
I think it's because I actually remembered how, like, this was a dish we really like to have. You assumed I knew how it was prepared.
I mean, don't you remember?
But it's been forever.
Yeah.
Oh no, so it's not even malicious.
It's just miscommunication.
Yeah.
I mean, we used to do this.
So I know it's the berries. What was the other thing?
The yellow flowers, when they're cut, they grow back bigger.
Okay,
so you have to cut. How do you?
So there's something special. Whatever you determine, there's something special you have to do to be able to like cut them or pull the petals off or whatever you need to do to prep them.
So I think you have to pull the petals off one by one and not touch the center.
Oh.
Like and I just take a knife and I just chop right through the center and kind of like, halve it, quarter it, eighth it, like.
And like worms, they just.
And then you have 8 flowers that are bigger than the first one.
I feel like it's turning into like those clown cars or like the Sorcerer's Apprentice sort of a thing where suddenly Ash and everyone else might be in other rooms and suddenly you see a gigantic petal sticking out from the kitchen hallway.
I think Lament is actually like under a pile of petals.
And you start hearing what can sound like curse grunts. And you realize, oh no, the berries.
Oh no!
So I think
Aaron, Shard.
I think Shard has to rescue Lament because Aaron can't do anything about the giant petals, and maybe go get more berries.
Yeah, I think, and just to put a little bit on this, I think that what Shard does is basically drift in their really graceful way into the room, and then like just with their like commanding presence, like shrinks all of the flowers back down to their original size, which of course pulls power from Vizal while they're trying to do the dishes. So like,
what? Crash.
Yeah, like
I'm fine,
that's
but the
where
dishes
some of the dishes got broken. So eventually,
and the scrubbers trying to desperately scrub the shards.
That that keeps it out of your hair for the rest of the time.
So like
That I like that.
there's finally a moment where all of the flowers are kind of back down to size, and Shard just like puts his hand down on the table and looks at Lament, and then just like looks at the berries, and then is just like and just sighs, and then she leaves to go get more berries.
That's great. Awesome. So,
You still didn't tell them
No, I didn't.
how to deal with the flower.
Didn't. I'll tell them when I get back.
Okay.
It's fine.
so I think fast forward a little bit to the point where the ingredients have, I'm sure there was more hilarity involved, but the ingredients have finally been prepared. Lament, if this is cool with you, I don't think you've ever like cooked like really like a meal like this before.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think like whatever I've done in the process of magic when I had powers, it was very much still in the food prep thing. It was never actually making a meal or cooking. I think, oh yeah, I can totally do this because, hey, I used to do magic and I made beautiful food and everything with magic. It can't be that hard, can it?
So I think what Aaron thought that they were volunteering for was to like, oh yeah, I'll help you cook.
Yeah.
Like, and I grew up in the Midwest, so I only eat food. We only ate food from boxes. And when the first night that I was in the apartment with my husband after we got married, he was making a stroganoff, and I was like, I want to help. And he slid me an onion, and he was like, okay, chop that onion. And I realized that I had never chopped an onion in my entire life. So I feel like that is exactly what happened. Aaron's like, okay, so we're cooking together. Great. So you do this thing. And then Lament is like,
Oh, you said cooking.
Yes.
yeah.
It's like, knead the dough. Okay, I think you're very important to me.
Oh, okay, that's sweet.
No. Oh no. And you're not even trying to be irritating.
This time, I just pick up the dough and I say, okay, you're really special.
Aw.
You will be delicious tonight. I can feel it. Oh no. And Aaron is just like, oh no. Because they know you're being sincere, unlike last time when you were just...
Because I have this look of wait, I have to knead the dough? Okay. Okay, if you say so.
So yeah, they kind of have to be like, okay, that was
great. Next step, we have to knead the dough with a K.
Yes. So, and you do it like this.
Gently pat it.
The other question is, when have you cooked a meal like this before, and who was it for? I think shortly after my mother told me that you're engaged now, I was like, okay, I'm gonna try and make the best of it. Spent several weeks trying to be like, okay, well, if we're gonna get married, I might as well try and have a good relationship with this person that I don't really know. We just were completely incompatible. And I think my last ditch attempt to okay, but I just want to impress them and think well of me is I spent an entire day making this what was supposed to be this super fancy romantic meal. They never showed up.
Oh, that's...
They completely blew me off.
Oh, no. I don't like your old fiance.
You're not supposed to. But, obviously this is different because now I have people to eat it with. So once the food is ready, it's time to eat.
Yay.
The wizard serves the food. What do they say to open the meal?
Oh, okay. Cool. This one is a little bit of magic for everyone's mouths. Unless you don't have a mouth.
Boo.
In which case, I'm sorry about that. And, you should consume this in any way that you... Good, let's eat!
Great. So everyone's going to take turns choosing an action and answering the associated questions. Each player should just choose one prompt. The 3 prompts are ask a personal question, tell a funny story about someone else, or good-naturedly rehash an old argument. Good-naturedly.
Yeah, no, I'm not choosing that one.
Does anyone have anything? Otherwise, I can go. All right. Well, I'm going to ask a personal question. The thing that prompted this was you and Lamette, Shard and Lamette having this conversation about, oh yeah, like remember, and you kind of make these like passing romances to like when you were in wizard college, but it's like when 2 friends who like know something really well, like they just drop maddening hints without ever saying anything substantive
There's
about what the thing is.
No
like.
context whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember
Inside
our 4th
jokes.
year?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I think Aaron is curious and says, Shard, I know you and Lamette went to Wizards College together, but like you never talk about what that was like. So, and they're kind of like awkwardly like fumbling for words because that they don't even know how to ask like, what's up with that? What was the deal?
What's your deal? Yeah, Wizard College. Wizard College was great. I mean, we learned lots of things. I was obviously the top of my class, but,
Actually, I was kind of top of class.
No, I'm pretty sure it was me, but,
We took turns.
we kind of switched off. It depended on, like, kind of which week it was. It was good. It was good times. Lots of spells. Definitely spells.
And,
No.
there was...
We're not having that conversation. Mm-mm.
Okay. I mean, that whole thing about true love's kiss.
No. Mm-mm.
Oh my, whatever deity is in this setting. Are you 2 true loves?
No. Mm-mm.
No.
Definitely not. Mm-mm. No.
That's the one thing we both agree on very vehemently.
Yeah, we always agreed on that part. For sure.
Did you try?
I mean, there was that one time in that sleepover.
It was awkward.
It was like
really work out.
kissing siblings.
Ew. I'm a demon. I don't understand that, so I assume weird.
Yeah, it's fine. No, it was great. It was lots of fun. There was, like I said, lots of magic, fireworks and stuff. We played some cool sports that involved flying and explosions and
flamingos that were also bats.
yes. They were kind of sometimes.
Was it consensual?
Yeah.
Were the flamingos okay?
Depends on the
sometimes-
flamingo.
Yeah, they were a little ornery sometimes. You had to get a good one.
That sounds confusing.
Could have at least asked.
It was a little confusing sometimes, but it was mostly good. It was mostly good.
I think there were actually bats that were enchanted into flamingos for some odd reason.
The thing about wizard school is sometimes there's the easy way to do something and there's the way that no one else would ever do something because it's hard. And what happens when you're in wizard school is that you're training to do everything the way that no one ever would think about doing anything ever because that's the magic way to do it. So you would never take an actual flamingo and use them as a bat. You have to take a bat, like a flying bat, and turn them into a flamingo that you can then use as a bat.
What?
Yeah, and I think you were on the spot one day when you asked our teacher if why we couldn't just use an actual bat.
Yeah, well, yeah, that was pretty funny.
I think that was ingenious, really inspired.
Oh, thanks. I know Dream really liked it, but sorry, we're not going to talk about her.
Wait, Dream?
What?
What?
Is that the third person in the painting that you keep hidden upstairs?
What?
That
What?
nobody else is supposed to
You
see?
still have that thing?
What were you doing? Okay. Could I move into a good-natured argument?
You can try.
Absolutely.
Can I evolve into that? What are you doing in my room again? I told you not to go into my room. You're not supposed to go into my room.
You moved the pipes again. I got lost.
Okay, well, but, That's personal.
And then I saw this pretty painting and I was like, oh, why are they trying to make me prettier when they have this pretty piece of artwork that they won't put up? And then I noticed that Lament, or at least I think it was Lament, it looked like Lament, but
You know, I have a funny story about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's
not Wrinkle.
It's nothing, really. It's nothing.
And then there was this really beautiful person.
You should probably stay out of my room.
You know, I have
Please?
a funny story about how that portrait was made. It was actually at the festival
Yeah,
or
we're
this
gonna do one.
unicorn thing. And there was apparently this new magic where if you go into it and you just stare at this mirror, it'll take pictures of you really quick and it'll make like 4 or 5 pictures all at once. We didn't know that was what was happening, and we just kind of stared at it for like a minute, and all the pictures look exactly alike.
Oh, I was about to say I only saw one of the portraits.
Well, because I kept one. We tore off one. You could tear it off, apparently. There was this really cool thing.
While all of this is happening, Erin is like sitting there like so quietly because this is the most that you have ever talked about your life like before this in one sitting ever, and they're just like they really don't want to like interrupt.
They don't want it to stop.
But it's very like popcorn gift kind of
Yeah.
you know like vibe. Like they're super into it.
There's totally a trophy in your, not in your room, in your laboratory, in your workroom.
I mean, yeah. That's from
You want to tell us about that?
yeah, that's from the floatball tournament.
Float ball.
Yeah, because I won the floatball tournament despite Lament's best efforts. We were on opposing teams.
Well, that was because
Is this the game with the bats that were flamingos?
Yeah, and also explosions and flying. It's hard to explain the rules.
it's like there's these like
Did you wear helmets?
half moons in the sky, and you had to use these flamingos to kind of very gently push these balls through these half moons, and if you didn't do it gently or if it touched the edge, it would explode. And then
Yeah.
you go float ball if it explodes.
Yeah, but if it explodes, you lose 10 points. But if you get it through, then you gain 11 points.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So it's worth it sometimes for things to explode.
Even if it explodes,
is what I'm hearing
you
from
still
this.
kind of made out with a little bit of points, but
Yeah.
you weren't going to win a game on the points you would get from an explosion. And if the ball didn't get all the way through before the half moon exploded, then you didn't get the points.
Okay. Okay.
Wait,
Awesome. Is that
let me show you something. I'm going to invoke one of my marks, so I'm going to pause this for a second so that I can do this. Okay. Suddenly at the dinner table that's been cleared off and everything, I'm going to pull up a magical, like, recreation hologram illusion thing of
Yes,
what
you are.
the float ball stadium used to look like, complete with, like, miniatures of the teams, like, flying around, like, recreating the last tournament in which I won that trophy. So just so that I can show Aaron what it looks like.
And one of the things that made it difficult is that you were all flying under your own power, but some of you had to be upside down at all times.
I mean, yeah, you can see it, right?
Yeah, the flamingo
right.
also acted as a flotation device.
We were flying on our flamingo.
amazing?
This is the most convoluted made-up game ever.
I love it.
I love it.
I think the rest of the evening is just like Erin like getting basically prompting I think mostly Lament to like tell stories about your time in Wizard College
Yeah.
together because they kind of figure out like Lament's a lot more willing to like talk about it, but then like once they're like, oh yeah, this thing happened, then Shard will be like, oh okay, well here's what actually
And I feel
happened.
like I want to invoke my mark, which is to do something unexpectedly kind, where I'm actually trying to kind of tell it as it is, but I actually am still making Shard look good.
Aw.
Did Shard and Shard's team only win that particular one because of
Because of
technicality?
an errant flamingo, the one I had decided that was the moment they were just going to be like, nope, I'm out of this. And I went floating away with it.
No.
I think-
Oh, and you were the goalie at that moment in
Yeah,
time, right?
yeah.
Yes, obviously.
So Lament is telling the story, and the two of you are laughing, and I think that's when Shard looks over, and like Aaron like is just like this, like
Yeah. Big shiny eyes.
smiling, and there's a window behind them, and that's when you realize that like they're actually completely solid, like their elbows are on the table, their faces on their hands, they're like so absorbed by the story that they're like not thinking about it, and like that's the yeah.
It's so amazing.
Can I at least get like a beer?
What happens if you consume alcohol?
I don't know.
Let's find out.
I don't know if I can consume it.
And I push a little of my drink towards you.
I mean, it feels really diluted right now.
I think that's a good place to end. So what do we all do once the meal is over? Do we relax together or break into smaller groups?
I actually think we might relax together in this situation because we actually have some rapport going on.
Yeah, and I feel
Right? At some point, someone does the thing where they're like, "Do you want to go sit on the couch?
Yeah.
Like the comfortable couch."
Aaron is like, okay, but like, can you bring my cushion over? Because like it's the cushion that's actually worn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you bring my cushion over?
But then you sit on the couch and you sit on the couch,
Yeah.
and
If my
and then we're all like, "You're sitting on the couch," and then
tell
you fall
them.
through.
Yeah.
and it's like, and I kind of elbow of like, no.
The bubble ball rolls off and goes down the hallway.
Yeah.
I'm coming back, and rolls back.
That's awesome. I love it. Great. Well, people definitely hit some marks. So what lessons did we learn?
Trickier in this to learn a lesson. I think I actually learned something, and I'm not quite sure how to word this, but I think I actually learned something about the value of basically like human companionship, not necessarily human, but like of socialization and having people who know you, right? And being able to be, I think I might have learned something about being able to be vulnerable.
Oh, just a little bit.
Just a little bit, like not a big bit. I'm still kind of, but like a little bit of understanding of like, the value of having people and having people who know you and and that you know them. I think.
Oh, that's great. I love it.
Aw.
I think for Lament, it's that not everything is irredeemable. Certain things, if you try hard enough and maybe not be so selfish, you can maybe get some of the old rapport back and like some of the old friendship back.
That's great.
Did you get a mark, Ash? Because you should go first.
To make it explicit, I revealed my true form to the wizard without being aware of it. Because I wasn't aware of it, I think my lesson is more general. I think Shard and Lament are so, like, weird and out there that, like, mainly what Aaron learned is that, like, for, like, how strange they are, they're still, like, people. Like human people, and, like, listening to your stories, like, yeah, they were about, like, weird, crazy, made-up wizard games, but, like, there were parts that were like the parts that you were like arguing about were also just like very normal about like, no, I was top of my class. No, that was me. No, that would.
Yep.
Right. Like, so I think that's what Aaron learned is that like they might be strange, but like they're still human.
Yeah. So I grudgingly used my powers to make the family happy. And I think what I learned after some experimentation after dinner is that yes, I can sort of consume alcohol, but it takes enough experimentation to realize it has to have some yeast in it. So, or carbonation or something like that. Like, and then I get kind of bubbly. Like, I literally get bubbly a little bit.
That's fun. If you consume carbonation, you actually get like bubbly, and it affects your personality in a bubbly way.
Yes.
I love that.
So yeah, at one point it was like the ball was filled up with bubbles, and like so I opened it and like I hung out as Bubbles, which was weird, but really fun.
I have a question. So if you are bubbly and then you have oranges, are you a mimosa?
Please don't drink me.
It doesn't go well.
She plays a maid, she's got me under her spell. She plays a fighter with her eyes set to kill. I play, and I can't look away. Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed episode 145 of She's a Super Geek. If you liked what you heard, go ahead and check out other podcasts on the Misdirected Mark Network, or check out Mariam Ahmad's and Ash Kreider's other projects. We would really appreciate it. Our theme song is Rock and Roll Play Baby by Kieran Strange. You can find more music, merch, and tour dates online, kieranstrange.com, or on Twitter at Kieran Strange.